So I thought I could definitely add, like I said before, a bit of bench strength to the securities and capital markets landscape. Very important because the UK signed recently, September last year, the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership with Vietnam. But preceding that, Vietnam's been trying to advance from VAS to IFRS and doing so step by step, progressively, successfully, using a lot of collaborative input from institutions and accountancy boards and bodies and the Institute of Directors, to the ACCA, to the ICAW. Many of these bodies are really working very hard behind the scenes, and they don't get a lot of press, And I, in my way, can also speak to people and let them know that if they really want to see a reversal of net foreign outflow of foreign institutional funds in the stock market, in particular, with foreign indirect investment, as it's technically known, companies, fund managers, analysts from all around the world find it far easier if they can read a financial statement, a set of books, a quarterly report, annual report, semi-annual, if it's done in the IFRS, normal international financial reporting standard way. So if I can articulate that succinctly to a counterparty, a listed company, some government officials, and let them know that, hey, if you look at my simple comment is, since January 1, 2023 to December 2025, there's been more outflow than inflow. So to reverse that, you just have to make it easier for the analysts, the portfolio managers, and everyone on board to present to an investment committee their investment thesis to their fund management IC, and say to the investment committee, whether it be a legal and general or a prudential fund manager, we would like to invest in some Vietnamese stocks. And these are the bank stocks, or these are the consumer sector stocks. And so in my role as a vice chairman of Bridgecam, I've been working that for over a decade, since 2013 in Vietnam. There's over 1,600 listed companies. And I know many of the VN100 C-suite very well. Most of the VN50, the 50 largest companies by market capitalization, very well. And the way that I can add benefit for the foreign experts and the foreign corporation members of the British Chamber of Commerce and all the other chambers that I engage in social networking events and conferences is to give them, just a short and workable piece of information. If they're wondering, who are the people who are, running the back office of this company, because we'd like to speak to, the chief operating officer, or who is the person who's the head of investor relations for Vin Group. And I can not only give them the name, but I can say, he works in the Ho Chi Minh City office mostly, or who's the CIO of Vin Homes. I can say, well, he's one of my best friends, and he goes by the name in the West by Alex, and he lives and works in Hanoi, and he splits his time between Hanoi and Sydney, where he studied his PhD. So I can give them very good information very quickly without them wondering who to deal with. And that's what Chambers of Commerce are all about. We've got skill sets in where you came from in your time at the executive level. You were like the omnibus leader. You were accounting, change management, transition management, digital use, technology, AI. You've done all of that. Plus, where we can come in, we've got securities and capital markets with me, Chris Milliken. He's got the legal, M&A, which is important, market entry, very important, and market exit, equally important. And then Denzel, we've got Denzel as our chairman, and he has worked for a big firm and to now co-heading his own firm. So coupled with some of the old guards who are like the Obi-Wan Kenobis, like Ken, and like if you have a look at that, I see that as a fantastic add-on that we've got, because you only have to look at some of the really large corporations out there, like News Corporation. Rupert Murdoch was almost 90 when he started to think about retiring, and Ken's not even late 70s yet. So, he's got plenty of time. That's just one example. It's a great thing to see. We've got hundreds of members growing, over 25 years old. And I would say that the British Chamber of Commerce Vietnam, which is headed by our ED, Matt Ryland, he's doing a fantastic job. And then we've got Zuen Win, who's the head of the Hanoi office. She is an absolute standout. She could work for any firm, any international firm in Vietnam, but she loves what she's doing. And she's kind of a mentor manager to a lot of the younger team members coming through, because as you can appreciate, a lot of them work part-time, then get into university, then they will try to work kind of semi-full-time or for a year or two full-time with a chamber. It helps them with their connections, helps them with their language skills, social networking, business networking. It's a unique environment. I recommend it to anyone in Vietnam. Don't have to be Vietnamese only. You could be a British student studying in university. You could be an Australian student, studying at a university in Ho Chi Minh City. Join your local chamber, or see if you can, give some free work and just volunteer to do something.